Makers. Unscripted with Z. I'm here with Jack Connan, who is a knife maker supreme, purely because I posted a video of his student called Lawrence cutting 3 pages with 1 slice, and I thought, who better to interview than the man himself, who is the mentor of that fascinating young man. So here's Jack. Jack is going to tell you a little bit about himself and what he will offer to you in the knife community as a maker. So Jack, tell us a bit about yourself. What do you do, and how can you offer services to the knife making community? Because I know you love to teach. You love teaching, and you offer one-on-one personalized courses. So tell us a bit about yourself, a little bit about your history, and what would a student get from you with your time?
So I started out learning about gunsmithing under a master gunsmith by the name of Ben Musgrave when I was still a young teenager. Then I became a goldsmith, and I was a goldsmith for a bunch of years until things changed in the country. And then I started making knives, and I taught myself pretty much most of what I know. Started making razors because nobody else was making razors. There was no information about them, so I thought, well, that'll be a good thing to go into, so I started making razors. Started making knives in late 2009, became a member of the South African Knife Makers Guild in 2011, and I've been making knives and all sorts of other little bits and pieces since. I do teach, I do not do courses, I do one-on-one classes. I prefer to keep them to an hour or less, purely and simply because nobody can concentrate for more than an hour. If you want to come and forge some Damascus, we'll run through the process and then we'll make a day of it. But then it's very little actual tuition and more just working. I teach pretty much anything around knife making that people want to learn. I go from the basics of grinding, which I believe is a very, very important thing for knife makers to learn how to freehand grind, because jigs limit you very much to the shapes, the sizes that you can grind. With freehand grinding, you can grind anything you like. And basic dagger grinding, very difficult to grind that on a jig. When it comes to straight razors, there is absolutely no jig in this world that'll grind an edge like that.
Okay, I can't even focus on this, guys. That's how fine that edge is. There we go. That's millimeters thin. Not even millimeters.
This particular blade is 0.06 of a millimeter thick, and if you look at it there, if Z gets the angle just right, you'll actually see the metal flexing with just my finger behind it.
There we go. And then here's some stainless Damascus that Jack has made and forged out. Can you tell us a bit more about the stainless Damascus, Jack?
That is 304 and 316 stainless steel. I started out by making rings from Damasteel. The problem with Damasteel as a ring is it has to be hardened to be properly stainless. And when you've got a ring that's hardened and you smack your finger with a hammer and your finger starts swelling, there's no way you're going to get that ring off your finger because you can't cut it with anything. So I started looking at making Damascus specifically for jewelry. I use it on fittings for knives as well. This dagger again has the same Damascus for the guard and the pommel. And this is 304 and 316 stainless steel. So not hardenable. The blade is my own design Damascus on this one, but that is not stainless. So yes, I started making stainless Damascus for jewelry specifically, and then started using it as fittings on my knives. I can teach how to make the stainless Damascus, but it is an incredibly long process, so the tuition for that will be rather expensive. For my normal lessons, I charge 450 Rand an hour, And like I say, I prefer to keep it to an hour, because that way you get the most out of it. You can always come back for a second lesson, a third lesson, a fourth lesson. I have had guys come to me for a full year every Sunday for an hour lesson. One of my students came specifically to learn about razors and razor grinding, and he came for a full year pretty much every Sunday for an hour to come and learn how to grind thread razors,
Okay.
being the most difficult blade in the world to grind.
Fantastic.
So yes, that's me.
Okay. Makers, there you got it. We're in the dark because we load shed, but every hour spent with Jack will help you in your knife making journey at a rate that you will never ever believe. So that's it from Z. Z out. You can contact Jack in the numbers I provide below.